What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K of PNTS Network and StadiaDosage back again with another weekly checkup. This is the show where we talk about the latest and greatest in Stadia news and cloud news all together. But before I go any further, with no further ado, our good brother is back. And that's our good brother, your other host of this show, Daryl Smock Jr. Daryl, how you been, man?
I'm doing good, man. You know, I'm woke up like, man, listen, if you guys are not a member, you gotta join, you gotta hit that membership
yeah, exactly.
button,
We're still seething from the last conversation.
Yeah, if you see the chat, man.
Yeah,
they're getting lit up from
yeah, you should be able to see the chat now. You could probably get some indication if you look at the chat. And so what Daryl's talking about is we record this show actually on Fridays with the members. And then we air it around 11:15 a.m. Eastern. I'm on Sundays now. Right after Nerd Nest's Stadia Cast show. We air this, as a premiere. So all the activity and the questions that we're answering in the chat, that's with our members. You can actually be part of that. In order for you to be part of that, what you want to do is hit that member button below, and not only do you get to be part of the chat when we're answering questions, but you get like anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes to this time it was like 45 minutes worth of additional content that we record right before we do this. So the members version of the show is even better. So if you want to, participate in that, definitely check that out. But we were having a big conversation before we started recording the public one. But we'll digress and we'll move on. But Smock, I will tell you this: next week, I think we're going to want to continue that discussion.
Okay.
Probably, yeah. We're going to want to continue that discussion because it's hard for me to let it go. So I can tuck it in, breathe out, and let it go as long as I know I get to embellish on it more next week. So
yeah, of course, man. I'm down. I'm with it.
What's been up with you, brother? What you been playing, man?
So I've delved back into Cyberpunk. I have fun. Oh man, Cyberpunk. The main thing I want to do now, because I never completed the game, but the one thing that I wanted to do now, and honestly is because of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, is exploring their maps and trying to get like little things, like little special weapons and little special gear and little things like that around the map, and see what type of stuff Cyberpunk has. So I've been doing that, and I've been doing a lot of side missions and everything, trying to see everything that the game has to offer. Especially I had couple new DLC. I believe it had like some DLC that came to the game, or some update that came to the game, and I was checking it out. And yeah, man, I dove back into Cyberpunk. I'm playing a lot of the crew. I'm really loving my time with playing the crew. They just had the episode 2 of American Legends, and it's basically what it is it's an update about within the crew that basically focus on American classic cars and American like legends, and it integrates little stories within the crew that takes you around the map that they have, and you go to each location, you verify a point in the story, and then it updates, and you get cars, you get money, you get a whole bunch of stuff. So I like it. I'm having a lot of fun with the crew. Then of course, I knew I was gonna mention it, man. But of course, I've been playing Destiny. The season 17 is coming out on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
And I can't wait, man. I can't wait. Bungie loves shaking up the Destiny world. Season 17 is gonna change up so much stuff in the game, and I can't wait. And the thing that they're doing to keep everybody super interested in the game is we don't have no information. We have very little information on season 17. We don't even have the name of the season. What Bungie is planning to do is, I think, an hour or two before update goes live, they're going to launch the trailer within that time period of them doing maintenance and getting everything ready to launch. So that's when they're going to reveal the name of season 17. They're going to reveal what subclass is going to get updated next, because they're updating all the subclasses. They're doing one class per season.
Oh, okay.
So the next one, it could be solar or arc. We don't know. A lot of people think it's going to be the solar subclass, but no, Bungie, man, they know how to keep the community interested, and I can't do nothing but applaud them for what they're doing, because so many people was like, yo, like, it's the funniest thing was somebody said, man, what if during a TWAB this week, Bungie just says, okay, so tune in next Tuesday to get information on the season. And that's exactly what they did. Like they wrote stuff to get some final like patch notes out the way, thing like that. But the details that everybody wanted, they keep it under wraps until Tuesday.
That's good. That's always good to shake things up and keep things interesting. And that's why I said I do want to get back into Destiny. I'm gonna get back into it and play it some more, definitely. You know what I mean? That's awesome. With that said, I've been playing my usuals as well. Division 2, Madden. I don't know why I just got a serious Madden kick. This week I've played more Madden than I've played Division 2. And I'm going to play Far Cry Primal, and I'm probably going to play the hell out of that because it's 60 frames per second. We're going to talk about that on Stadia, which is awesome. Speaking of another game that I wish was 60 frames per second on Stadia, but now that Far Cry Primal now there's no excuse for this one not to be 60 frames per second, is Far Cry 6. I was just about to say that. I'm giving up on that game on PC. I've given up on it. I was playing it primarily on PC, as you guys know. I was putting footage out there, but I'm stopping because every time you turn around, there's like a huge upgrade. I mean, there's a huge download file. It bloats the game, and the game is so bloated now, I can't even use the HD textures. You know what I mean? It's just, and then the performance isn't on par. Like sometimes when you pause the game and you unpause it, it'll be like 3 frames per second. I mean, the game is it's a mess on PC, and it's not worth it. And really, the only card, because I have a 3070 overclocked, and I still don't have enough VRAM to play this game with the textures, with the HD textures.
Crazy.
So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to get a 3080. You know what I'm saying? I'm overclocked, a 3080 overclocked, in order to have enough VRAM to use the HD textures now, because else you're just going to run into all types of problems. Yeah, the game is starting to suck on PC. So if they can make this is another reason why, if they make that game, if you make games 60 frames per second on Stadia, even at 1080, it's such more a relaxing situation than it is dealing with PC. And what else? That's it. That's it.
That's interesting.
Go ahead.
It's interesting how Ubisoft is updating all the games before.
That's
super interesting.
Yeah, like they're toying with it, right? Like the first indication was Assassin's Creed Black or whatever the hell that is, right?
A Black Flag.
Black Flag.
Yeah, that's actually a really good game.
Yeah, that's what I heard. And here's what they were trying to do at first. Remember, at first, they weren't going to put that game in Ubisoft Plus. They were trying to make that game separate, and you had to pay $10 for it. And I'm guessing they were thinking that way because they made the upgrades to it, because it's 60 frames per second. It's the only one. It was the only Assassin's Creed game that was 60 frames per second until they made Valhalla 60 frames per second, right?
Yeah.
So maybe what we'll see, Smock, is they release Far Cry Primal, at 60 frames per second and make that the first Far Cry at 60 frames per second, maybe we will see Far Cry 6 and hell, even Far Cry 5 go up to 60. I would hope both, because I'm going to be honest with you. As much as I'm enjoying Far Cry 6, Far Cry 5 is still my favorite.
Far Cry 5 is really good. I put a lot of time into Far Cry 5.
Yeah.
I like going around and taking over the camps. And
exactly. It's so fun doing it on 5. Like 6, it's cool, but it's much more fun on 5.
I do like 6 too, because the acting in 6, I'm not gonna lie, the acting in 6 is really good. That's one thing that I love about Far Cry games. Is their actors, especially from the villains, they've always been top notch, and they went all out with getting that guy. I forgot his name.
Carlos, I think. I can't. Yeah, we'll butcher it. Make it sound like some type of soup by the time we get done. But yeah, and speaking of Far Cry 6, that's on the screen right now. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you this. When it comes to those Far Cry games, I'm with you 1,000%. Far Cry 6's missions are the bomb. They're so much better than 5's. But the 5 just journeying around and doing random stuff is so much better. You know what I mean? So I would still play both. So I would love to see a situation where Far Cry 6 and Far Cry 5 get 60 frames per second. You know, but that's just me. All right, so let's get into it, man. Here goes our topics for this week, if I can find them. We got Stadia news. We gotta move that over. Hold on. We got Stadia news. We got cloud news, and we got game vibes. Which, wow, are these things messed up? So let's start with the Stadia news first and foremost. So when it comes to the Stadia news, first we had this week on Stadia. So I think I don't have that up. Or do I? I think I do have that up. So let me go back. Let me go back here, man. Check up. Well, no, let's talk about Outright Games first. So we had Outright Games, Smock. They did a showcase yesterday. 5 or 6 games, I can't remember, were announced, and they're all coming to Stadia. Those games include Dragon Legends of the Nine Realms. And let me know if you could see it from my screen. LOL Surprise. Star Trek Prodigy. Paw Patrol Grand Prix. And let's see, what else? My Little Pony. My Little Pony. And lastly, the DC Justice League game may come as well, but they said wait to hear more word on that, because they didn't officially announce that to Stadia. And then there's the DC Super Dogs game. So let me ask you this, Mock. What are your thoughts on how important these types of games are to Stadia's library?
Honestly, they're really important. These games are really important. And the first person, as soon as you asked me that question, first thing, I don't know if you guys did the interview, Drop Dead Studios. Did he speak on the importance of kid games? And was it somebody else that did that?
No, it was. I think it was called. It was. No, I think they all have. They all, because they all experienced having to deal with the Stadia Reddit.
Oh yeah.
And look, and not to cut you, we want your complete answer, but just something to think about. Every developer that we talked about, they're like, man, that freaking Reddit. Like, what is going on there? Like, what's wrong with those guys over there? And they're like, and it's not that they're disgruntled, because they get it. It's like they come up with the most they're like, I talk to Stadia. I see the things that are going on. I see what they tell you guys. And in that Stadia Reddit, they come up with the most cockamamie stuff. Like the Drop Dead Studio guy even said, I would ignore them. He said, just ignore them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So don't even pay them any attention. So with that said, the Stadia Reddit has really gotten under the skin of a lot of these developers. But go ahead. What were you saying? I'm sorry, Smock. Go ahead.
Yeah. So games like these, I believe, are super important.
Yep.
For the platform to really basically make it known that they're here. That they're here for the long run, because
exactly
games like these are kind of timeless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are,
because games like these are kind of timeless because when you have children, and when you're a father or a mother and you're gaming and you like playing games, you want there also to be games for children,
Yep.
And for Stadia it's just further diversifying its library, like Stadia already has a really good diverse library, but games like these is really super important for children.
Yeah.
Like we was just talking about Mario Kart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, but that was way off topic. But Mario Kart is a great kids game, and having other games, like that could possibly be the next Mario. It could be one of these games. So these games are super important. Like Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol, man, children loves Paw Patrol. You feel me? So it's like those games are important. And My Little Pony. Like, bro, My Little Pony is huge in the children community. You feel me? So like these aren't games necessarily for me, but there are games. These are the games that children will want to play.
Yeah, definitely. In regards to our conversation that we had during the members take, there was a there's an article that Charles and Rand put out there, so you might want to check that out whenever you get a chance, Smock. It's about is Nintendo really axing female characters for Mario Kart?
Yeah, I clicked on the link. I definitely clicked on it. I didn't say nothing about it, but I did. So yeah.
Okay.
That's interesting. That's super interesting too.
Yeah, we'll check that. Sometimes you gotta fact check the fact checkers. We'll see. I mean, I hope it. I mean, in all likelihood, it's probably true, and I hope it's true. We'll see. Yeah, I'm in total agreement with you. The games are super important to the platform. Again, I remember when my sons started gaming, and this is during the 360 era. And so I bought a 360, but I didn't like the PlayStation 3 at the time. I thought the PlayStation 3 was trash. So I went and bought them 2 separate PlayStation 3s so they wouldn't bother each other and they would have no excuse to bother me. You know what I mean? Because if I would have got them 360s as well, then it would have been, Dad, can I play your Borderlands? Dad? And I was like, nah, I didn't want any parts of that. So, but lo and behold, guess what happened? They didn't want to touch the PlayStation 3s because Dad wasn't playing it. They wanted the 360s. You know what I'm saying? So I ended up having to buy them 360s. Anyway, and that's the same thing with these platforms. Even though these are kid games that they're going to be playing and you're playing some of the mature stuff, kids are watching. They don't want to play something else. This is not like back in the day when you can give them a Fisher-Price toy and a Fisher-Price console and they can play that. No, they want to play what Daddy's playing. So, having all your games on one platform, one seamless platform, frictionless, is fantastic. And then the kids will feel cool even though they're playing My Little Pony, and you'll feel comfortable and cool while you're playing Division or Destiny 2. So it's very important for these games to be on this platform, because normally when you're trying to reach out to the casual gamer as well, I think this is what a lot of us don't understand. A lot of us that are watching this show, a lot of you guys that are members, and even us on the panel, we got to keep in mind that we represent like the 5% of gamers, to where we're more hardcore, we're more in the news and all other stuff. The average gamer isn't like that. The average gamer, again, only has 7 games within an entire generation's life cycle, and they only pick up two games a year. Yep. So because those are the statistics, they're not buying a whole bunch of this and a whole bunch of that, and they got to have access to every single game. You just got to make sure that you got the games that are going to keep them happy and then keep their kids happy. You know what I mean? So you got to understand why these are important. And I think Daryl hit it right on the head. All right, the next thing, Daryl, is this week on Stadia. This week on Stadia. Let me show everybody. Okay, so this week on Stadia, may we offer you some games. Those games include City Skylines, Far Cry Primal, 9 to 5, Dawn of Monsters coming next weekend as a free weekend, and Pac-Man's 40th birthday. There's a 50% sale going on. And the thing with 9 to 5 is out of early access. So, Smock, what are your thoughts on this blog post? What would you rate it?
Maybe a 3.5 out of 5.
Out of 5.
Out of 5, 3.5.
So that's like a C.
There's some enticing things in here. I'm not too big on city building games, but I was into 9 to 5.
Okay.
But man, I remember one night I was trying to play.
Yeah.
I sat there for 40 minutes and I couldn't find a match, bro.
Wow.
I couldn't find a match, and it's crossplay too. So it's like, yeah. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna the game. I'm sure the game is fun. I just need to, be able to play it. Need to be able to play it and see for myself. Crazy, I haven't been able to. I love Pac-Man. So that, to me, the thing that I'm most interested in is probably the Pac-Man update and Far Cry Primal.
Okay. Yeah. And it was Far Cry. I mean, I thought, City Skylines. Normally, even if I say if I still had Game Pass, I wouldn't even waste my space with that game because it's not up my alley. But being that I can just boot into Stadia and give it a shot, I'll give it a shot. So, I'm interested to see what all the fuss is about. Also, 9 to 5, I haven't tried it yet. I'm looking forward to trying it out of early access. Like you said, it's 40 minutes finding a game in its early access. Wow. I mean, in its crossplay with PC. But yeah, the real big one for me personally is Far Cry Primal. I also think it's dope that Dawn of Monsters is having a free weekend. I think that game is being slept on as well. Okay. We had a discussion earlier, and again in the members section about games we felt like are being slept on. I think that one could make the list. Okay, so here's the thing. All right, so you're with me, Smock. We're like Siamese twins on this one, and we're so close on what we think about this, right? About this blog post. Like I gave it a B-, but I was like hovering around a B- or a C+. Really, I'm closer to a C+. You know what I mean? So I'm like right there with you. Here's the thing, and here's where the questioning gets deep. And let me know if you need me to elaborate.
Okay. Before
this blog post came out, it was all hellfire and brimstone in the Stadia community. Everybody was upset. Is Stadia going to make it? All the content, all the blog posts, all the Twitter, posts, everything was pointing to this thing could literally be on its last legs. So we were at the lowest of lows, as far as where people were coming from. Not everybody, but a good portion.
Yeah.
Then they put out a blog post with, granted, good stuff, but it's City Skylines and Far Cry Primal to headline it. And then all of a sudden, everything changes. Everybody's excited, not just happy, they're excited.
Yeah.
Even the Reddit looks happy. It looks like a normal Reddit for a platform.
City Skylines, though. City Skylines is like taking the reins for most of the chatter, from what I seen.
Oh, so what did you see?
That a lot of people are excited about City Skylines.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Excited about that update.
That's what I'm saying. And even on the Reddit, they're excited about that as well. So the point I'm trying to make is, don't get me wrong. I think this is cool stuff, but this ain't Elden Ring. Why does the Stadia community go from they easily go to these extreme lows to these extreme highs? Because here's what's going to happen next week.
Okay,
after week of playing City Skylines, then it's going to be, oh, Bird, we ain't got no games again. But it's going to go right back down. What's going on here? Can you explain?
So a lot of people might get mad at this statement, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
You gotta say it anyway. No other way to say it but to say it.
A lot of those blog posts that about Stadia dying, I think a lot of the members actually agree with that, and they're just not admitting to it. And every time Stadia doesn't do what they want or what they expect them to do, they resort to that mentality because that's all that they've been showing, like, well, that's not, I'm not gonna say all, that's what they've been showing, when Stadia goes quiet, it's like it's like Stadia is trying to evolve, Stadia is trying to update, they're trying to mature as a platform, and part of that means that they might not communicate with us as much as we did. I'm not gonna lie, Stadia, and anybody disagrees with this, I think you're just capping for real. But Stadia has really, since launch until now, till they've been quiet, Stadia has really spoiled their community, like to a T. They spoiled us. They was constantly in contact with us. It seemed like they was doing something every other day, for the past couple of years. Like they was constantly checking in with the community, making sure, hey, y'all good? Y'all still there? Hey, y'all hungry? Here's some more games. You feel me? Like they was, I know. I see what I said. This is the completely opposite of what he said. They was really feeding the community and keeping the community happy and really spoiling us. And this is the side effects of that. Now that they're not doing that as much and they're becoming more of a mature platform, and they're trying to let the community members really, walk on their own, let us, ponder for a little bit and make us think like, dang, is something really going on, or are they just doing their job? You feel me? And a lot of people resort to that same mentality that we condemned all the publishers for, all the journalists for it, with that negative mentality. They're producing that same thing, and I think it's because low key, those journalists really ingrained, I think, that mentality into a lot of Stadia players' heads. That, man, if Stadia goes quiet, it must be for a bad reason instead of a good reason.
Now you're gonna get people that would push back. So I'm just playing devil's advocate. That would say, Stadia didn't keep in contact with us all the time. There was a time where we didn't hear anything from Stadia for 60 days, way back in 2020, right? So they're gonna, and before I try to answer that question for you, what would you say to those people that would say, oh no, Stadia hasn't talked to us all the time, they've disappeared and been off, what would you say to them?
I would say to them, like, they were just doing their job. Like, y'all wasn't complaining when they came back and they released, like, 5-6 new games, you feel me, at one time, like the thing is that they're not giving Stadia time. Like it's not Stadia's job to force feed us every single week.
Yep.
Because Microsoft doesn't do it, Sony doesn't do it, Nintendo doesn't do it, GeForce doesn't do it, Luna doesn't do it. So why are you, just because like Stadia stays the same, they're never gonna grow, You can't look forward while looking back at the same time. You got to do one or the other, If Stadia wants to grow as a platform, I'm not going to say it's a bad thing. Communicating with us is only going to be a good thing if they actually have something to announce, or if they have something exciting to tell us, But Stadia wants to grow. It can't constantly, like, every single announcement is going to be a banger. We can't expect bangers every single announcement. Sometimes we're going to get announcements like these, like they did today, where they're just really just announcing updates for games. Like, hey, Far Cry Family, here's an update. It's 60 FPS now. 9 to 5 is out of beta. Boom. Here, go enjoy that game. Hop back into it. City Skylines is free on Pro. Here, now you got to get to experience the game that you might not have played otherwise unless it came to Pro. So here you guys go. Have some fun. Donna Monsters. Here you go. Pac-Man. This is their anniversary. Like if you want to try it out, now it's probably a great time to try it. It's on sale, for 50% off. That's great. It's like the Stadia community. I'm gonna say it again. The Stadia community, a lot of people are kind of spoiled. A lot of people acting like how children would. When we go to a store and the children are begging their parents, they walk past the candy aisle. They want to get something. You feel me? Like everybody is just like not giving Stadia enough time to work, and Stadia knows and I think Stadia now is like kind of putting the foot down. It's like, hey, whether you guys like it or not, this is the direction that we're going. If you truly support us, you will be here for us no matter what. And if you want to complain, go ahead. But this is what we're doing.
And that's a good point. I'm going to say this, and I think you answered that perfectly, because people confuse Stadia not telling us anything opposed to Stadia not telling me what I want to hear. Your average platform, maybe I would personally say, with exception to Xbox, because Xbox is always talking to you. They're saying dumb stuff like all the time, and people love it. And Phil, he came out on stage with his limbo shirt. Oh my God! Thank you, Phil. You've given grace to me and my starving children. You get people that idolize anything that comes out of the Xbox camp like that. But when you look at PlayStation and definitely Nintendo, they'll go on hiatuses that Stadia has never seen. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily about them not, like Smock said, them not saying anything to you. It's them not saying the things that you want to hear. But then you got to ask yourself again, like Smock put it, what is it that you expect opposed to what Stadia is providing? Like, do you understand what Stadia is trying to provide or is looking to provide? And bumped it up against 2. What is it that you expect? There is a strong likelihood, if you fit into that camp to where you just go to those extreme peaks and valleys at the whim of any news, you might got to look in the mirror and say to yourself, maybe this platform isn't for me. Maybe it's not, like Smock said, maybe the path that they're going isn't the path that I need to go as well. And you got to find something else, because they're going to go on the path that they're going. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just, again, I think the blog post was cool, but you would have acted like Dying Light 2 and what's it called? So Dying Light 2 and Elden Ring was put on there. Why we're going through these extreme lows and extreme highs, because I think too many of you, and like Doris Mark said, too many of you have implanted in your head these news stories opposed to you just understanding what the platform is doing. And what it's doing may not be, if you got to be on a constant high and a low like that in the blink of an eye, then I think that the platform may not be for you. Simple as that. They're going to go where they're going regardless.
Yeah.
But you got to make that decision. Is this where I'm supposed to go? If you're going up and down like so easily, I think that's a warning flag for you to take a look. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's okay to play elsewhere. You
don't have to only it's all right.
Play Stadia.
Exactly.
Stadia is a free console.
Yeah.
So if you have money to spend, go ahead and buy yourself a PS5. I'm sorry, Xbox, but buy yourself a PS5 and enjoy it. You feel me? If you can find one.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. So with that said, that was great stuff. Let's see here. So next up, let me see what I have here. What do I have here as next? Okay, that's still Stadia news. All right, so the next topic is, we ran into this situation a couple of weeks ago, but we haven't been live on air to talk about it. there was discovery of a new job, and the new job was at 2K, and the new 2K job had mentioned something about Stadia, that one of the things that they're looking for to be a good fit is full awareness of game distribution platforms, Steam, Epic Games Store, Google, Stadia, consoles, etc. And again, we hear from the community, oh, 2K is done with Stadia, just like how they thought that Outright Games was leaving, and then Outright Games just showered them with a whole bunch of. So,
yeah.
What are your thoughts on a possible 2K Games return? Do you think that they would return? And if they do return, like, what's keeping them from the platform right now? What would prompt them to return?
And
I'm talking about new content, of course.
We have Mafia. We have Mafia 3.
Yep.
And we have 2K, of course, NBA 2K. And we have Borderlands 3.
Yep.
Or two or three. I forgot.
But you know, people are out there like, well, we didn't get Tiny Tina's Wonderland, and we didn't get NBA 2K22. Like, you know, getting those games day and date are relatively close. Like, what do you think is stop put that to a halt, and what could bring that back?
Yeah. One thing I think that 2K. But before I answer that question, I want to get my thoughts about 2K as a company when it comes to
as a company and a record label. You go.
So 2K as a development company, the first thing that they need to do before they make the decision to move forward with bringing games to Stadia is, are they going to update their games past launch? Because I mean, the NBA 2K, like, I bought it, and they like, they're not updating the game. You know, it's like they're not doing anything to keep the players wanting to come back to the game. So it's like, man, you know, 2K, NBA 2K could be, it's like one of the biggest sports games ever. You feel me?
Smart. Go ahead. Go on your tangent. I'll be right back. Go ahead, brother.
All right. But NBA 2K is one of the biggest games ever, and for you guys to launch the game and then not do anything to help sustain it and to help keep the game updated after launch is, you know, it's like, yo, what is going on? The only game that makes me excited about 2K is Borderlands 3, and I'm not even a big Borderlands person, like a Borderlands guy, because, you know, I don't know a lot of other people in the community that actually plays Borderlands that wants to go through that whole game, because the game is kind of long, you know. So, but other than that, I like Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 is a great game. 2K, I know, is a great game elsewhere. It's not a great game on Stadia because they haven't updated it, you know. But it should, like, 2K developing more games to Stadia should only be a good thing, you know. So I'm not gonna knock them for making new games. If Tiny Tina's Wonderland comes to Stadia, I seen that it did have mixed reviews. Hey, people are gonna love it, you know. But getting somebody who understands their relations with cloud gaming and the 2K, what they're looking for, that is key. Though those words right there is key, because if whoever signs up for that whoever applies for that job, please listen to this podcast and listen to what I'm saying. If 2K wants to bring more games to Stadia, please let them not be lazy and express the importance of updating your games. Because I think 2K could be in a way better position than it is right now. You know, that's my thoughts on it. Then listen, and you know, if people can't handle the truth, that's a personal problem. That is a personal problem. That has nothing to do with us. It's just expressing our thoughts and our opinions on what we think. He said, man, I remember the Nintendo Wii era, and people will wait forever for virtual console games to get released, and they smile at it and pay for them no matter how long they waited. I was one of them. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's the times are definitely changing, and people are definitely way more sensitive now than what they used to be back in the day. Like, man, back in the day, we would love, like, man, I can't wait, for this game, but nobody would pressure the devs like how they do now to release the game before the game is ready, And now the devs have this mindset of, you know what? Let's just release the base game, Halo Infinite, is I think the best example to that. That game was released clearly when it wasn't ready. Like, you had people, there was videos on YouTube of people, going into the game and finding areas of the game that's literally has nothing. It's just literally open space, and those supposedly those open spaces were supposed to be used for a DLC that, from what I know, it hasn't came yet. It's like the pressure that people are putting on devs now is way too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's I was answering the question about how Nintendo.
Look at that, Aminar with his crazy behind. He says MM2K. Well, no, I mean I was. Smock is 1,000% right. The problem that there is with 2K was the support in the, I want to say, the moral compass to say, oh man, this ain't working, we need to fix this. I think 2K looked at it simply as, well, you guys aren't really doing for us what we would like for you to do, so y'all wait. But that, that was their attitude. I think, did you answer, Smock? Do you think that what you think would bring them back, bring the newer, the content back on a more consistent basis?
I didn't know.
Okay, so what do you think would do that?
Man, or bring them back on us. Of course, people supporting and buying the game. That's an easy answer. Mm-hmm. That would be an easy answer.
Mm-hmm.
But a realistic answer,
mm-hmm.
probably. We'll probably have to. I don't know what the deal is with Stadia.
Mm-hmm.
Like what type of deal they have with Stadia.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe readjusting that and bringing them back to a more it's hard for that's a tough question to answer.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not because is it Stadia's fault that they don't update the games past launch, or is it because I like Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 is a great game. That game plays really well on Stadia.
Yep.
2K would be dope if the game was updated. If people played it, but there mightn't. I don't know. To be honest, I like the man. Honestly, bro, I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question. I really don't. I can't answer that question.
I think what the problem is that they were willing to bet their chips on Stadia. I don't think that because Zoss Strelnick, the head of Take-Two, he didn't really expect a lot out of Stadia. He said a lot of people overshot the moon on it and were expecting more. He said we didn't expect that much. He said it's an emerging market that we felt like let's put something there and see what happens, right? So I don't think they have a problem per se with supporting Stadia. I just think that they have a problem developing on Stadia. And they just didn't want to put in the effort that was needed to keep up the port on Stadia along with the other places. You got to remember, when in the case of 2K was having issues everywhere. And then they were addressing those issues, but they were ignoring Stadia. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking that if the low change porting is that turnkey, and or for lack of a better term, is that swift and automatic, they'll bring their games back. No, they may not. They may still require some money to you have to give us 10 million. They might want some money on top of that too, but at least they'll bring their games back. The money that they want probably wouldn't be too cumbersome, and we know that the support, like you said, if things go awry, would be there swifter than before because of the porting process. It probably wouldn't take them that long to address it. So that's cool. I mean, that's what I think it's boiled down to. Because when you look at these job descriptions, why else would they still have Stadia there? They have Stadia there because I don't think they have Stadia there because they're expecting Stadia to make a turnaround immediately. They have them there because there's still plans to develop for the platform. And then when you look at their slides as well, let me see if I can bring this up. There it goes. When you look at their slides in back-to-back quarters, when they talk about where their future pipelines are as far as where they're going to invest, there it goes right there. For streaming and cloud, it's Stadia, PlayStation, and Game Pass. Now, people may argue, well, Stadia's only up there because of Red Dead and Borderlands. No, this is...
I forgot about Red Dead.
This is about implementing new business stuff. This isn't about just because we have something sitting somewhere. It's about where they're going to invest in the future, and Stadia's listed there. So they're coming back. I just think that they're like, it wasn't worth us coming back and having to put in all this manual effort when we're not getting that much of a return. But we'll come back if the porting process is smoother. That's what I take from it.
This is probably a petty response, but development studios / publishing studios' job is to understand porting, and it's to understand that process. I'm pretty sure they had help. Like Stadia has been adamant at sending out people to help developers publish and update their games. So it's like I would love to some insight on the deal they have with Stadia. And to see like why their past games didn't get the love that they deserve. Because if the games was updated, if 2K had the features that was shown, that was supposed to be there with the YouTube integration and things like that, like if the games had all that stuff and they took the time to implement all that stuff into the game like they were supposed to, the games would have done better,
True. I just think that with COVID, and I'm not making excuses. I'm just going through the mind state of someone like a Take-Two who, at times has their nose in the air. And I'm not going to necessarily say that some of the things they come up with was wrong, but they have their nose in the air and they're not going to go that extra mile. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to go the extra mile and do it for the culture. They're definitely not. And they probably looked at it and they said, okay, we signed this deal for 4 or 5 games, 4 games. What was it? NBA 2K 21, 22, or NBA 2K 20, excuse me, 2021, Borderlands 3. And ain't there one of the wrestling games that are on there?
One of the wrestling games is on here. Yeah.
Okay, so the wrestling game.
Red Dead.
So that's 4. 5 would be PJ 2K 21.
Yeah.
So they probably signed a deal, and no, Red Dead Redemption is 6. So they probably signed a deal with them for about 6 or 7 games. I'm pretty sure we're missing one. And they said, well, that's it. No, and then there's the Mafia game. So they probably signed anywhere between an 8 to 10 game deal with them. And they're like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it don't work, it don't work. We'll get to it when we get to it, because this is not wielding results that require our immediate attention. Even though people paid their $60, they still look at it as, they're looking at the platform. But I do think, though, even though that's negligent of them, I do think that if they have a porting process that is a flip of a switch, like how it is for GFN or Xbox, then they're probably more likely to work with us. So, all right. Well, I think that's it for all of the Stadia stuff. Let's talk about. Let me see here if I can get rid of that. Let's talk about the cloud news. All right, so in the cloud, in the world of the cloud, we have GFN and Fortnite. GFN Smock dropped Fortnite for everybody now. So it's for all GFN subscribers. And they've dropped touch controls. You saw a big push from GFN via content creators to get this news out yesterday. How would you rate this? How big is this for GFN?
It's good news, man. I can't front, I can't hate. Fortnite on any platform is a good thing. Yep. It's a good thing, you know.
Yep.
Like I told you before we started recording, people have been begging for Fortnite to come to Stadia since Stadia launch, probably before Stadia launch. You know, there's been like, yo, are we gonna get Fortnite? You know, there's I remember Stadia paid a streamer. His name is what is his name? That random guy or that average, I forgot his name, but a guy on YouTube doing a sponsored stream by Stadia, and he was like going through Stadia's list of games to play, and he thought Stadia had Fortnite. But when he searched in Fortnite, it wasn't there. You know, so GFN getting Fortnite for everybody is a win. You know, it's a W. So are they able to play it like unlimited amount of time, or is there still a time limit for them to play Fortnite? Because that also depends too.
Yeah. Well, no, it's tied to whatever tier you're on. So if you're on the free tier, you're getting an hour to play it. You know, you gotta wait, and you're going to wait for a queue when it comes to Fortnite. Trust me.
Yeah, of course.
You're going to be in a queue.
They have been making some banger updates. I like that Spider-Man update that they did, that they had all the little Spider-Man characters. That's pretty dope. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. If you're on the priority tier, you know, you get to play for up to 8 hours at that, you know, one of their 20 rigs, you know, the 2000 series rigs as they call them. And then the GFN 3080 tier, you'll get it with all the bells and whistles and all of the competitive, you know, the latency and all that other stuff at that tier. But it's tied to the tier, so it's not unlimited. I think GFN gives you access for 8 hours at a time. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean
that's we need. I mean, Stadia needs a good battle royale other than PUBG. PUBG can't carry this thing by itself, because the game, even though it is getting updates and it is still feeling fresh, I like PUBG's updates. It is way too competitive, bro. Way too. I could barely survive, man. I could barely survive in that game. Like, so, you know, it's
too hardcore.
So, and to me, G4 getting Fortnite for everybody is a good thing. I see no wrong. I see no wrong with that.
So, I'm kind of there with you. I think it's good, but I feel like that the thunder was stole by them, and the thunder was stole by them from Xbox. When Xbox released it last week, and they made it free for everybody. Like, you literally don't have to have xCloud. I mean, you don't have to have Game Pass. You literally just boot up xCloud and play Fortnite. No limits, none of that stuff. And I don't know how it plays wirelessly, but I'm going to tell you that I played it wired on my browser, and the game played flawlessly.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And if it's smooth in that realm wirelessly, like it's by far the best playing game on xCloud, period. Like, there's no doubts about it. It's the best playing game on xCloud. And if it plays anywhere as well in that realm, and then I almost won too. Played my first match. And then, mind you, I've never played Fortnite before. Never. That was my first time playing Fortnite, and I almost won. There was 3 of us left, and I was the second to last person to die. Yeah, it played that well to where I would, I'm not big on Fortnite, but if someone said you want to play Fortnite again, I wouldn't even feel the need to install it. I would just go to xCloud on my computer. That's how well that it played. I guarantee that it'll play better on GFN because GFN's infrastructure is just better than xCloud's. But here's the thing. xCloud's infrastructure on this game is good enough. You know what I'm saying? So you ain't got to pay no $5.99 or no $9.99 or no $19.99. All you got to do is just go to playxbox, I think it is .com, to go to xCloud, pull up Fortnite and start playing.
Probably no time limit either, right?
No time limits. No time limits. That's going to be GFN's problem. This is why I've said, and now the chickens are coming home to roost, because they made a big push yesterday. They let everybody and their grandmama know Fortnite's coming out. I've seen people that wasn't creating content on GFN in a while create content and put videos out. There was a big push for this. And again, Fortnite is never an L. You know what I'm saying? Whenever Fortnite launches on the platform, it's never a loss. Yeah. But it's not going to have the impact, from what I see, that it had with Xbox. So I think Xbox stole the thunder. And again, that's Fortnite's problem, is because everything that they do as far as revenue is concerned is subscription based. They might be assed out a little bit just Just imagine how much bigger this news would be if this was saying Stadia and not GeForce. Yeah. Oh yeah. Xbox can't steal that thunder. Yeah. I don't care what Xbox. And to me, this is not me being a fanboy. Like from but it would definitely be to me, realistically. If Fortnite came to Stadia, everybody would be talking about it. Yeah. Everybody would be talking about it. Because it would play better. It would look better. Yeah. And then it would still be free as well. And that would be the boost. Exactly. That would be the boost that Stadia would need. Because you gotta admit, Xbox is gonna make out like a fat rat with this. Why? Because of all the DLCs, the season passes. When they get bought, if you're playing it on xCloud and you're playing it particularly on iOS, because that's the big gap that it's filling, is the iOS people. You're playing it on iOS. When you buy that DLC, it's going to Xbox, and that would have been the case for Stadia if you were playing Fortnite on, you know what I mean. But it's not coming. It's not coming because Tim Sweeney, in so many words, alluded so. I want to put this up here real quick if I can find it. Hold on, this is the wrong tweet. See if I can find it from Tim. Sad, man. Yeah, it's a shame that they have this mindset towards Stadia. Like, don't want to see Stadia win, man. Well, Yeah, Stadia has so many things stacked up against it.
It's not even Stadia's fault. It's not even Stadia's fault.
Yeah.
Like I honestly, I would love to know the conversation that Tim Sweeney and Epic had with Google Stadia. Besides the fact that Stadia not being a big enough platform, like what else? What is their real reason not bringing Fortnite over? Is it really like the only thing that I can think of is Epic's lawsuit against Google?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
And Apple.
That's it. That's why it's not there.
That's crazy. That's crazy because.
So I'm gonna put this tweet up here. So yeah, just to circle back, for those of you that are not familiar, what Daryl's talking about is that Stadia got into a lawsuit. I mean, not Stadia, but Google.
Not Stadia, Google.
Yeah, Google's in a lawsuit with, yeah, exactly. Like, oh, how does Stadia get in a lawsuit already? Google got in a lawsuit, them and Apple, against Epic, because here's what Epic wanted to do. Epic wanted to put Fortnite on the Apple Store and on the Google Store and not give them any money. Yep. And Apple is like, no, we do security protocols. We check for viruses. There's things that happen when you put your game on our store that we grant, and we to make sure that the APK, or it's not an APK for them, but the package is safe and all other stuff. So hell no, you're not getting those services for free, and you're going to pay us the 30%. Now Google was a little bit different. Google was like, you can launch your own store on Android. We're not worried about that. But if you want it in the Google Play Store, it's the same. You're not doing it for free. And, because we're checking for security and all that other stuff. You just got to deal with it. That's what Epic went to court for. And what Epic was able to do was when I can't remember. I can't remember if they won to where the sharing was lowered because Apple was trying to stick to its 85/15
I think
or 70/30.
They won. They were able to lower the shares where Apple.
They were able to lower the shares, or allow people to put their own store. Something happened, but the kicker is
no. They took some of the restrictions off. I think because they had a lot of restrictions or something like that within the Apple Store. So, and I think I don't know if they still have the 70/30, but I do know that they took off a lot of the restrictions that Apple had.
Yeah. So so it was a win to where it hurt Apple, but Epic still lost because they weren't allowed to put Fortnite back on there because they violated the terms of service, and the judge granted that Apple was allowed to kick them off for violating the terms of service. So there were letters and emails that were revealed that showed that Tim Sweeney had approached Google and said, hey, if you guys let us put this store in your store for free, we will put Fortnite on Stadia. Right? So it's not a problem of logistics. It's not a thing of, oh, it's just too cumbersome to do. No, they can do it because that email revealed that they can do it. They're using Fortnite on Stadia as a bargaining chip. So that's why the game's not there. It's not there because of logistics, and it would just be too cumbersome because you would have never offered that. They offered that because it's possible, but they don't want to put it on there because they're trying to pressure Google into a position where they're like, okay, we need Fortnite. We gotta have Fortnite. So give it to us. And that's their point of giving it to GFN, giving it to everybody. And I want to show you guys this tweet. So there's this tweet going around where people were asking Tim Sweeney why he's not putting the game on Stadia. And so this is what Tim Sweeney tried to say in a way to say, well, this is why Stadia is not qualified to have Fortnite. Again, Fortnite is updated every week or two with new code and content, and the new version must be released on every platform simultaneously in order for cross-platform play to work. So it can't just be handed off to an external company to fire and forget. Somebody had asked, well, why don't you just give it to somebody? So the argument being made is that Google is it's just too cumbersome to do. It's just too hard. That's why we can't do it. So I said, oh, okay, got it. Wouldn't that issue be solved by the below process? If so, you would allow it, right? If you could elaborate on any of the no's to the questions above, I know your aim was to provide clarity in this thread, so your response is appreciated. This is the second time I've responded to him, because before what he said is that because Stadia is based on Linux and GeForce Now is on PC and Shadow's based off of PC, that's why they have it and Stadia doesn't. But then I presented on the same thing. What is this? This is Stadia's how to write a Windows emulator for Linux. This is something that they're working on, and they said that they're testing it out right now, and they're hoping soon to have it fleshed out and ready to go. So if Stadia finished this part, that means that basically any Windows game would be able to run on Linux, aka Stadia, right?
Yeah.
So I said, Tim, I asked him in 2 different threads, Tim, what about this? If this happens, would it be okay then? Would you allow it then based upon your reasoning? Crickets. He didn't say a damn thing. Nope. So to Smock's point, it's not Stadia's fault at all. It's Epic via Tim Sweeney trying to dangle Fortnite in front of Google to get them to give up what would be rightfully theirs, which is a percentage of the sales, because you're putting your item on our store and we got to protect your item. Like that's like going to a storage facility and say, look, I got like 300 pounds of stuff that I need to store, and I'm just gonna write thank you on this piece of paper and walk out of the store, and I'm not paying you anything, and you're gonna let me store it. They're like, the hell you are? Like, you better get the hell out of here. That's in essence what he's trying to do, and that's why I say just don't, because Google's not going to fall for that. But what Tim is trying to do is he's trying to play on the naivete of different people. But I've been following this jerk for almost 10 years. He's one of a kind. You can't get one up on me. So just be cognizant that he's trying to make it seem like that Stadia is disqualifiable, but he has ulterior motives with the game.
Yeah, man. It's just unfortunate.
No, very unfortunate.
He's using, yeah. I mean, hey.
I know. It's crazy, dude. It's sickening. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And, I wish people were just a little bit more keen. See, what it is that the cloud community, like he doesn't get away with this stuff with the mainstream gamers. They already got his ticket because he pulled the stuff with Microsoft. Like, he was like, yeah, when Microsoft was trying to do his UWP, which was a form of unifying the ports of PC games and console games, he went on his tirade and said, oh, Microsoft is trying to create a monopoly, and this isn't fair to Steam, and they're trying to cut Steam out, and we all love Steam. And then lo and behold, later, he comes up with the Epic Game Store. You know what I'm saying? Which is trying to undercut Steam, So the mainstream gamers are caught on to him. We in the cloud gaming world, we don't know enough, and we haven't been following this guy. We don't know the lineage. So when he says these grandiose things that make him seem like that he's so folksy and he cares about the devs, we fall for it. But it's really an ulterior motive. And we just got to be careful because this guy is very, very shiesty. So,
yeah. And point that I would have argued back to Tim Sweeney when he said that the game's updated every week is the Crew 2 is also updated every week.
Yeah.
Ubisoft is able to do it every single week.
Yep.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla is updated every single week. And they're able to unify everything. I understand your game may have more players, but the process is still the same. It wouldn't be that much different. So it's like,
what's the issue?
Yeah. Exactly.
Smock, I responded to him twice in this thread and somewhere else, and he's all through this thing answering people. He would not respond to me. He doesn't because He knows he's full of it. He's full of it.
Yeah.
So again, Stadians don't expect. Just hope that other games could be that potentially get as big as Fortnite. Like again, I don't know. Well, I can't say Fortnite, but I'll tell you this: X Defiant has the potential to be in the realm of a Battlefield / Call of Duty. I'll just say that. I'm not gonna say any more. X Defiant has that potential. Now, as far as a Fortnite equivalent, I don't know. Just hopefully, just hope that the load change porting gets to that turnkey point where it's very simple to bring stuff over, and somebody's willing to let the game come to the platform. You know what I mean? But it's not going to be Tim Sweeney in Fortnite, unfortunately. So, yeah. All right. Well, we kind of ran over, so that's going to be it for today's show. We'll get to game vibes, and we'll talk about Shadow PC some other time. But Smock, if you could do everybody a huge favor, let everybody know where they can find you at, good brother.
You can find me right here on YouTube at Smock Junior Gaming. It should be live on Tuesday, playing Destiny's new update.
All right.
My schedule changed, so that means that my uploading and my streaming days are also changing to Tuesday and Wednesday.
Cool. Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, so that's when I'll be active on this page. If you want to just follow me on my social networks, you can follow me on Twitter at N2OLA, or you can follow me on Instagram at Smock Junior.
Awesome. Y'all know where to find me. You can find me on PNTS Network, StadiaDosage with these fine individuals. Also, too, don't forget that we have our monthly giveaways. We're giving away 2 controllers. We didn't do it last month because I forgot, but we're going to give away 2 controllers this month. So we'll probably have that run off around the 25th. Stay tuned for that. If you're a member, you get to be part of that. And that's it. So until next time. Oh, I did want to talk about the numbers real quick. Thank you guys so much for the support that you've given this platform and given to the initiatives that we've supported. I'm just in regards to StadiaDosage. I was talking to Jack. The viewership has gone up 1,000% since that original week, where the volume was very, very great that original week, but it's going up over 1,000%. So that's fantastic. And also Stadia Community Day. Where again, we may have not had the big heavy hitters that joined us because we were so close in time to the actual event, opposed to when we notified them. But even though we didn't have like the heavy hitters able to join us for that event, we're already getting close to 4,000 views. So, all this stuff is showing you that it's all about who you're connected to, who you pay attention to. All this rhetoric about the Stadia community is dead or dying or whatever. I don't mind what content creators do or some influencers do or even some people on social media do. That's their choice to go wherever they want to go. But don't let that make you believe that the community as whole is in danger. The community is still strong, is growing every day. There's new people coming aboard, and I just hope that we as content creators do our job to pass the mantle. You know what I'm saying? Even if you are stepping out, highlight it to somebody else. You ain't got to step out of the room or step out of the house and knock over the lamps on your way out. Just say, hey, you know what? This was a platform that I was enthused of. Not at the moment. I'm going somewhere else, but here goes somebody else that can pick up where I left off. You know what I'm saying? So, but definitely check out Stadia Community Day. Go to Cowboys channel and your Mama Knows channel. I'll leave a link to the playlist, but again, we're closing in on 4,000 views, so that's dope. All right, with that said, peace to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Smock and I will see you next week, and until next time, have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.